This episode is presented by TimeTrack Go, the simply better employee time clock software that is going to make your life easier. The unique graphical employee time card helps you quickly identify and fix mistakes, cutting your editing time in half so you can go on with your day. TimeTrack Go will not only save you time and money each week, but our easy to understand user interface and the ability to turn an ordinary tablet into a time clock will get your team up and going in just minutes. Now your hours can go to your favorite payroll systems, including Gusto, ADP Workforce Now, Paychecks, and more. Find out what a simply better solution can do for your business. To learn more and sign up for your 14-day free trial, go to www.timetrackgo.com. That's TIMETRAK go.com or call 888-321-9922. Let's go.
Welcome back, folks. What's going on, Walt?
Hey, it's another show. It's another episode, man. I'm excited to be here. This is season 7. Man, it's just the time is flying by. I know I say it every time, but
I know.
man.
I know. No, it is. Yeah, it's just time goes so quickly, man. So we got to seize the day, right?
Yeah.
All that stuff, all that good stuff. I love your quote here, man. If you don't mind, I'll read it. It's your reaction to adversity, not the adversity itself, that determines how your life story will develop.
Yep. By Dieter Uchtdorf.
You know him from Germany? Back in the day, is your homie?
No, I'm not yet. Well, I was born in Germany, but no, I don't know him.
Did you say that in your origin story? I feel like you didn't talk about that in your origin story. If y'all don't know, Walt was born in Germany.
Army brat. Yeah.
Army brat, Germany. Yeah. And every now and then Walt throws out some like German words and stuff. And
here's a fun fact that I learned, right? Is that most US kids who had parents in the military, well, I know from people in my generation, I don't know how it's changed, but you could tell that they were born in the military because their social starts with a certain group of a certain set of numbers.
That's interesting.
Like, so I'll just say a random number. So let's say it's just 555. So
that's interesting
for people that have that same first 3 numbers. So yeah, fun fact.
If I wasn't a payroll professional, I would ask you what it starts with, but that's PII, and I'm not going to do that. See what I'm saying? It's the training in me that's good. It prevents me from asking for you that. Gosh, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, I heard that Social Security numbers also have a number in it that can tell if folks are minorities or not.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. I don't know if that is interesting. Offline, we'll compare notes and see if yours has it too. Yeah, folks. So we're having fun with the first episode with really just some news. We're going to talk about some news that we came across that's interesting, but we did some really fun things in season 6. Go check out the recap and you can cherry pick the episodes you want to listen to and stuff like that.
Got some exciting things coming for you this season. More
so excited.
Stuff about the holidays coming up.
Yes. We're gonna do a whole holiday package.
Yep. Year-end stuff. We're gonna have guests on, talk about some global payroll, because that's been something that the fans and listeners have been really wanting. So we're gonna definitely get some global payroll people here. And yeah, man. What's up?
No, I was just gonna say, take us into this first one when you're ready.
Yeah, absolutely. So this article you can find it. It's going to be in the show links. It's on tax.thomsonreuters.com. It's talking about how there's an increase in tax evasion. I wanted to discuss this and just put it out there because it talks about payroll and tax evasion. It talks about payroll.
Employers or employees?
It talks about people, businesses, everything. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Just in general, period. Everybody evading. Yeah, because we broke out here, man. Of course. If there's 70% of America is living paycheck to paycheck, people are looking for clever and crafty ways to save money. You know what I mean?
Man.
But it's interesting, right? The meeting we just had, we were talking about how important it is to do payroll right,
Yes.
because this is not really where you want to play around, folks. Like playing
No.
with, I get it. There is a little bit of flex, but you have to be. I think the IRS has a great tool right now. I was walking through it earlier for a customer,
Mhm.
the calculator, and it helps you understand how much your tax debt is. Please use
Mhm.
that. If you guys are playing with your taxes, please go to IRS, fill it out accurately right now, because we are, and inform your customer. This is the time of year, folks, payroll professionals, HR professionals, anybody doing payroll.
Yep.
Inform your customers that it's time to evaluate their tax situation, update their thing, their address, all the pertinent information in the payroll system, right?
Yes.
Go. And beyond that, like if you have some influence on customers and you give them some advice, tell them to use the IRS calculator and see where they're at so that they can make a better election for next year. I always, oh, you need a CPA, you need a CPA, and you don't need it. You don't, if you can't afford it, and CPAs are expensive. If you
Yeah.
can't afford or can't get good advice from a CPA, this IRS calculator is great.
Great tip,
IRS
man.
want their money.
But
Yeah,
but you're going into year end stuff and
I know. Sorry,
help
sorry,
us
sorry,
out,
sorry.
bro.
My bad. Tax
So,
evasion. Yeah, yeah, my bad. Will it back? Bring it back. Come rewind.
all right. On August 15th, 2023, the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, aka FinCEN, announced that the agency issued a notice to financial institutions regarding concerning increase in federal and state payroll tax evasion
Wow.
and workers' comp insurance fraud in the
Oof.
U.S. residential and commercial real estate construction industries, which results in the loss of hundreds of millions of dollars by tax
Yeah.
authorities due to the illicit actions done by through banks and check cashers. Yeah, you want to talk about this next part, the structure of a payroll tax evasion scheme? It talks about the actual scheme that some people.
All right. Structure of a payroll tax evasion scheme. Jeez,
Mhm,
they are laying it out. The
yeah.
FinCEN notice, coordinated along with the IRS, explains that the tax evasion, that payroll tax evasion and workers' compensation fraud schemes are perpetu- per, per, perpetrated
Hmm.
through the use of shell companies and fraudulent documents. Yeah. The basic structure of the scheme is as follows. Individuals involved in the scheme will set up a shell company whose sole purpose is to allow certain construction contractors to avoid paying workers' compensation,
Mm.
premiums, and as well as state and federal payroll taxes.
So right
The
here, I think I said something incorrect. I said it was an actual scheme, but it's like they're giving you an actual example. So let
yeah,
me correct myself.
sure.
Yeah.
The shell company achieves this by engaging in two kinds of fraud. First, once established, the shell company operates take out oh, I'm sorry. The shell company operators take out a minimal workers' compensation policy, rents or sells the policy to construction contractors that employ a much larger number of workers than the
Wow.
policy is designed to cover, thereby committing insurance fraud. Ah, wow.
Wow.
Wow. I never even thought about
It's
that.
crazy, man.
The second one is the shell company operates again, I'm sorry. The shell company operators facilitate tax fraud because the contractors use the shell company to pay their workers off the books and without
Mhm.
paying a required state or federal government payroll taxes.
So if you're listening to this and you're a payroll processor or you're a worker or somebody that's listening to this podcast and of someone or that your place of employment is doing something like this, that's a major red flag and
Yeah.
it needs to be escalated. I know some people worry about doing the right thing when it comes to these taxes and the stuff like that because the end result is going to be it's going to have impact on the employees because I think that even if this stuff happens, what are your thoughts on that? This is a segue, right? Are the people still liable for those taxes? They are, right?
Hell yeah.
Because they got paid those funds, and the government's not like saying, "Oh, we forgive that because they did you dirty." No, they're
Mm,
like, "Hey, you got paid that money, you owe us those taxes still,
yeah.
whether you're the
Technically,
company or whether you're the employee."
that's a good question though, because I wonder if
Mhm.
because they're almost victims at that point, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they give them leniency because they're victims, or if they're like, sorry, you got victimized, but here's the bill. We'll give you a payment
Yeah.
plan. The kind of probably the latter. If I had to guess, IRS definitely getting their money.
Oh, that's what I would think, because they're like, hey, we're sorry that it happened, but
You still
gotta
owe
pay
us
the
money.
taxes.
It's no different than when I always bring up the Steve Harvey case where
Yes,
he
yes.
thought he was paying his taxes. And we even
Mm-hmm.
have it in a true crime episode where the owners are doing the payroll schemes, doing doing this evasion, and
Yep.
the clients are giving the payroll company the money,
Mm-hmm.
but the payroll company is not paying the taxes. The IRS has no leniency for that. Sorry, but you
Mm-hmm.
still owe us. That company never sent your money in, so you still owe us,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's if I owe you money, but somebody robbed me on my way.
Yep.
Okay, you still owe me bread, bro. I'm sorry that happened,
Yep.
but you still owe me that money.
Yep. I'm sorry you got jumped and mugged.
Yep. But and it's exactly what happens here in the middle.
Yeah.
Somebody's robbing somebody before it gets to the IRS.
Yep.
IRS, unfortunately, not that they don't care, but it's not about
Mhm.
that. It's you pay tax, right? And
Yeah,
and
because think about it. Like, one of the things it says is like paying their workers off the books and everything. Yeah, it sounds all well and good. Like,
mm-mm,
my employer, my boss, my company is looking out for me by paying me under the table.
mm-mm.
They're really looking out for themselves.
And yes, and here's the flip side of it, because I was just talking about this with my mom, actually. Somebody
Mhm.
we in gossip, oh, this person never worked on the books and now they're
Mhm.
old and they have no means of getting any help. No Medicare because you never paid into the Medicare system. No
Yeah,
Social Security
great
income
call out.
because you've never put a dollar into the Social Security system.
Great call out.
So, and
Yes.
my mom made a funny joke. She was like, "Yeah, he went to Social Security. The Social Security don't know who he is."
Yep. Yep.
They were like, "They don't know you."
Yeah. Wow. I mean, that's such a big nugget, right? Like,
Yes,
that
yes.
because people don't realize, because sometimes we can be short sighted and just
Hmm.
see what's going on right now, and we don't have the wherewithal to realize the upstream impact that's going to
Hmm.
happen. Right? It's just like,
You
oh,
think you're
right.
getting over now?
Yes.
You're not
Yes.
getting over.
Yes.
You're sacrificing. Oh, what's that quote I love? You're sacrificing your promises for your preference.
Yes.
You know
Yes.
what I
Yes.
mean? Your
Yes.
promise of a future is gone because you
Hmm.
prefer to evade and avoid. And
Hmm.
unfortunately, a lot of deadbeat parents do this. Not even going to put dads only, because there's deadbeat moms too out there, unfortunately.
Yep.
And a lot
Yep.
of deadbeat parents do this
Yep.
to avoid having to take care of their kids.
Yep. Avoid
So
that.
guess what?
Yep.
When karma is a mofo.
It sure
Karma
is.
is a mofo. When you get to that age and you need help and you need medical attention and you need income, period, you're
Yeah.
gonna be those kids that you didn't take care of aren't gonna be there either. They ain't gonna know you either. You know what I mean? Man,
Ooh, man. Yep.
whew,
Brian,
getting fired
Brian
up.
with Brian with the chin check. All right.
Oh yeah, yeah.
All
And
right.
look,
So go ahead. Go ahead.
I'll do the red flags, and then you
Okay.
could take the last three things. I'll finish up with the red flags here. So
Yes.
the red flags to watch out for with these schemes, FinCEN in coordination with IRS CI. Oh man, they're gonna have to start a show. I want to see the show. IRS CI, what is it? Anywho, IRS CI and Homeland Security Investigations has identified a
Yes.
range of red flags to assist financial institutions in detecting, preventing, and reporting suspicious transactions associated with shell companies perpetrating payroll tax evasion and workers' compensation fraud in the construction industry. One of the 11 red flags includes if a bank account has a minimal of to no tax or payroll related payments to the IRS. Let me back up.
Mhm.
One of the 11 red flags is if a company's bank account
Mhm.
as minimal to zero, so zero to nothing,
Mhm.
paid to tax to IRS in relation to payroll taxes,
Wow.
right?
IRS,
State,
local
local,
authorities,
right? Makes
third party
sense.
payroll companies.
That makes
Yeah,
sense.
that makes total sense, because yeah, if you're processing payroll or payments to your
If you got
employees,
employees,
then there should be some trail
absolutely.
of payment
Absolutely.
to the applicable agencies, right?
Even if you're doing 1099s, which
Yeah.
for those of folks, if you haven't processed 1099s, we shouldn't, they're not for the 99, 95, for the most part, there's no taxes involved, but
Mm,
you still have to report. You still have to create 1099s,
mm,
build 10. You still have to have an accounting system that's tracking the 1099.
yeah.
So the expense of that, and you still paying an accounting company to do all that 1099, and it might be some minimal IRS stuff. So even in that case, you have some activity that's consistent with doing the right thing. So
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
that's the number one red flag right there is you're not paying any of the local agencies and parties that would need that payroll money, but
Hmm.
you're a big company with how many employees? Red
Yeah.
flag.
Yes.
So another red flag might be if the account holder or company representative makes statements to the bank tellers or check cashers that the purpose of the cash withdrawal is for payroll and the volume amount and frequency of transactions are uncharacteristic for a construction company with a small number of employees. Let me break it down. Another red flag is if you're taking cash out and you're talking about, yeah, it's for payroll, but you have 3 employees and you're taking 10 grand out. Construction
Yes.
employees they am not making $3,000 a week. You know what I'm
So
saying?
yes, it says the volume, the amount, and the frequency of these
Right.
transactions. So it may not be the amount. Sometimes you might be going in and just getting like little small increments here or there. But how frequent are you doing them?
Right. You going in
Like,
to get 10 grand every week for your
yeah,
3 employees for
yes,
payroll? No.
hmm,
You got the highest paid construction workers in the world. You know what
yes,
I
yes,
mean? So that's a red flag. So
yeah,
that, right? Because it should be more like $3,000 a
hmm,
week in cash for payroll. Also, cash for payroll is a problem, right?
yes, yes,
That's
yes, yes,
not necessarily a problem, but probably a problem. Unless, yeah. So there is a right way to do it, but I want to see your books. That's immediately, whoa, what? I want to see your
hmm,
books.
yes.
So
Yes,
yeah,
yes, man. This is
those are
good
good
stuff.
ones. Those are good ones right
This
there.
is good
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah, and
yeah, it
I know
is.
that this article, as we read, I know it's starting to say like it was for the construction companies and stuff like that, but I feel like it can be expanded to like any business that's doing these
Oh,
type of
sure,
shady
absolutely.
businesses and stuff like
They're
that.
just
But
using this as a good example. Yeah, like you
yeah,
said, they're just using them as a good example because they're heavy cash business. You know what I mean?
mhm,
And
mhm,
tax fraud lends well to cash businesses. What was it? Trucking company that we did in the past. I was a cat that did the
yep,
tax fraud or whatever. So it is certain businesses lends itself well to.
yep, yep. All right, so I'm gonna go into some helpful things that you
Gotcha.
yeah, this yes, going on offense. What's that saying? They say the best offense is a good what?
Defense
And then some people are now the best offense is a
is a
damn
good
good defense.
offense. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
you know.
That's
So
defensive people.
yeah, yeah. So like the first thing you could do is report any suspicious activity.
Yeah.
So there are reports that financial institutions are required to file a suspicious activity report, aka SAR, if it knows or suspects that there's any reason of a transaction that's been done through their institution that was derived from any illegal activity or is intended to disguise any funds from illegal activity, is designed to evade regulations, I don't know that word, under the BSA, lacks a business or apparent lawful purpose. So it's saying report any suspicious activity. So any one of these things that I just mentioned down here, and I'm sure there's a list of other things that they could consider suspicious. A financial institution is required to file this suspicious activity report. So if
Yep.
you're a financial institution and you're starting to notice these things with some of the businesses that roll through your business or your firm or whatever it is, you should be submitting one of these things as well.
Yep.
And another thing that you could do is when you after you file those things, something that's also important in payroll is record keeping. So that is speaking to that as well. So it says that Fenton explains that SRs and compliance with other requirements are crucial to identifying and stopping payroll tax evasion and workers' comp fraud schemes. So record keeping is important. So just like in payroll, if we don't have stuff documented, it's very well gonna it's very much gonna come back and bite us in the butt, right,
Yeah.
Brian?
This is
Gonna
part of payroll.
come, yeah,
Yeah.
and so like that. So everybody, like even no matter what industry you're in, keep those records, right? Keep those records. Make sure that you're that you're doing what you got to do when it comes to these things. But if you're in the financial institution, you definitely want to make sure you're keeping those records intact.
Yep.
Another thing is to get help to expose schemes. So earlier
Yes.
this year, IRS CI Chief Jim Lee noted how BSA, Bank Security Act, data plays an instrumental role in the agency's criminal investigations. He added that the data received in response to FinCEN's notice will help crack down on fraudsters and level the playing field for legitimate business owners. And so that's the key thing right here, because like there are some people out there who are trying to be legitimate. So
Yeah.
like it may impact those people, because those people who are doing the shady thing may come in at a lower price than these legitimate business owners do.
Mhm.
And they may be, and like these other people may be actually paying people by paying people under the table. They may be underpaying those employees, and those employees
Mhm.
might not realize that.
Yep.
But they're skillful enough to do the job,
Yeah.
good enough to get the job done and receive payment. And so they're here, all these shady businesses are taking business from these people who are actually doing the right thing, paying
Mhm.
their taxes, paying their employees the right way, are,
Yep.
are doing it on the up and up. So I think that it also impacts them, which is another reason why we should crack down on these businesses that are doing these shady practices in the construction industry or any other industry out there. Wouldn't you agree, Brian?
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. We've talked about how that it impacts America. Really, if you're proud to live in America, if you're happy to be here and you benefit from the opportunities and the things that, folks not, it doesn't only hurt themselves, again, just like we talked about Social Security, Medicare later, it hurts
Mm-hmm.
the economy. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Now these other businesses that are supposed to be business to business are struggling because you're not using them. You know what I
Yep.
mean? You're
Yep.
avoiding taxes, so you're not using a CPA. You're avoiding taxes. You're not using the right payroll. You just writing checks in your checkbook. You ain't paying taxes. What do you care? You don't need anything to calculate anything. You're fraudulent. So
Yeah.
it has a ripple effect in our economy and workers, employees, labor issues, rights, employee
Yes.
rights, and it segues great into what I have to share with folks today.
Yes. I'm ready for you to get into that.
All right, you ready now?
Yeah. Go ahead,
All
man.
right, cool.
Yeah.
Perfect segue. Talking about worker rights, and recently, state of California passed a law. It's called AB 800. AB Assembly Bill number 800, Chapter
Okay.
271, an act to add section, I'm not going to get crazy here, and a section to the education code relating to pupil instruction. And let me break down the summarized version that The Hustle put out. There's a newsletter out there called The Hustle. They also have a podcast called The Hustle Daily Show. It's great to stay up on business stuff and like that. They broke it down real quick for us, and it says California will teach about workers' rights because employers keep violating them.
Mm,
It's a new law that requires public high schools, including charter schools, to teach students about their rights as employees. Okay. Shout out to Gerard Hall.
yeah.
If and worker, they're doing a number of things, right? This is gonna be a ripple effect in the nation,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
California has that effect on the rest of the nation where it sets the standard and then the other states follow. So what
Yeah.
they're doing right now is a workplace readiness week that they're calling it, and they're going to mandate all the high schools for 11th and 12th graders to give this education. They're going to put together it's going to be a whole thing, right?
Wow.
Yeah. Now that's awesome.
Mhm.
Now that's
Yeah.
great. We'll get back into that probably many times. We'll talk about it as the days go on. But what I wanted to talk about now, since we're talking about fraud and violating, is the number of children involved in labor violations jumped
Uh-oh.
283%
What?
from 1,000 in 2015 to 4,000 in 2022, per the USA Facts. Yep.
Wow.
Including 700 children who worked illegally in hazardous environments.
Yo.
Several U.S. companies have recently been fined. A Minnesota food company paid $30,000 in fines for having 2 teens operate meat processing equipment.
Oh, man.
Packers and granted the ages were a little older, but it doesn't matter. You putting, I wouldn't have put, there's a 16 and a 17-year-old. I wouldn't put them in a dangerous situation. I've had those age kids. I wouldn't do it.
Yep.
A Packer, okay, and the other one, Packers. I hate to call out names and fraudulent stuff, but
Sanitation.
it's a sanitation service was fined $1.5 million for employing 102 children on an overnight shift at meatpacking plants where children as young as 13 were using hazardous chemicals to clean dangerous equipment.
Whew, man.
Bro, what do I hope I know all y'all claiming ignorance. All these companies are gonna claim ignorance.
What you say? What do you always say? They cop and plea?
They cop and plea. Damn, this last one, bro. Ooh, wow. Ooh, the renowned Chick-fil-A. Last month, 2 Utah Chick-fil-A's were fined $187,000 for unpaid overtime and allowing 14 and 15-year-old employees to work too many hours past permitted times in their state, because every state will probably dictate when kids can work till, but it's probably around the same. Like, yo, the 14 and 15-year-old, they have homework. They need to they got to go to school. Like,
yes.
187.
Yeah.
Bro, that's not good for Chick-fil-A. Had a really good reputation. That's not cool.
Yeah. I know their franchises, so it might have been those franchise specific.
Of course. So those owners made a mistake. So California's new law may empower a new generation of workers, but there's still a caveat. Over 300 children have come to the U.S. alone in 2021. Some undocumented. No, I'm sorry. Over 300,000 children have come to the U.S. since 2021. Some undocumented. The New York Times examined the difficulties they face working long hours and sometimes perilous conditions. Some tried to attend school, but others couldn't, meaning such lessons won't. Oh, yeah. They're not even going to school. They won't reach them. But we're here to help.
And think about it. And most of those.
Give me chills.
And most of those kids that are undocumented, they come over here and some of them have to work to help support their families. And because they're undocumented, that's why some of these companies are in trouble, and they get them to do those jobs and stuff like that. Hey, you'll pay my kid $8 an hour or whatever off the books.
Let's do it.
Sure, let's do it.
Yep, and they think they're getting away with it overnight because nobody's in the building. Okay, was part of the cleaning crew. Yes. Part of the cleaning crew and whatnot. And legal or not, if your family's poor, by the time you hit 14, 15, you got to go work. You know what I mean? We see it on TV. We see it in the movies all the time. Like, those things are real life. That's real life. You know what I mean? That is what I want to share. And just so I can clarify for you guys, because I got like all excited. I'm talking about getting the chills. This is part of our journey, is teaching the employees. And so we're right in alignment with California in this effort, and we'll wholeheartedly support them, and we'll wholeheartedly be a part of this teaching of employees, right? We already started a show called It's About Your Paycheck.
There's a keyword
specifically, right?
Yep.
What's the keyword?
I don't know if you see it on the doc, but it's the last sentence. It says California's new law may empower. And that's what we want to do. Right?
Oh my gosh, it feels, and it's only because it's supporting what we believe in, right? We believe in empowerment. Yes. This show is to empower you folks that are doing payroll, right? You got something to do with payroll. we are empowering you. We're giving you
Mhm.
information to help you. Hopefully, we're helping you get better as a payroll professional, right? We give you enough
Mhm.
to be dangerous, enough to go research certain things. And now we started this new show called It's About Your Paycheck. And we are empowering the employees of America to be more educated, right? Savvy,
Yep.
dangerous.
Financial literacy, man,
Yes,
is important.
on the road to financial wellness. Your first stop is with It's About Your Paycheck, right here with
Yeah.
us. And man,
What's that song by
oh man,
Mystical? What's that song by Mystical? Is the man right cheer?
yeah, I hear it. Oh man, I wish we had the when we get production, yo, we're gonna have all those sound bites. When we get a production team,
Yeah.
sound bites is gonna be great. But yeah, folks, we're pumped. We're really excited to just keep delivering information, helping you guys out, having these conversations. Super, just amazingly excited, man. Glad we're recording. I had to just check, make sure we're recording.
Oof.
I
Yeah, don't worry
forgot if
about
I
it, man.
pissed. Yeah, if I forgot if I pressed record or not.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Stay
Yeah,
tuned to
stay
7.
tuned.
Off to the
Yes,
races. We're
yes,
coming. We're here. Give us your
yes,
suggestions. Go check out the sites that we have going. It's about your pay. It's about payroll.io. It's about your paycheck.com.
yes.
So many things, great things coming for us, and we hope you come along with us on this ride. And
Absolutely.
as we do this to empower, educate, and just help
Have
other
fun.
people, man. That's what it's about.
Yes,
One of the things that we started saying when we started the It's About Your Paycheck thing, we said it's about people.
yes,
It
yes.
really is about people. Everybody's frustrated.
Yep.
Everybody's going through something. That's why
Word.
I put the quote in here. Everybody's facing some sort of
Yep.
adversity.
Yep.
And it may not be big. Your adversity that you're going through individually may not be big to someone else, but it's big to you.
That's right. That's
So
right.
even though somebody else might not relate, I want to tell you that it's okay, that it's your reaction to this adversity that's gonna dictate what happens in your life. So stand up, dust your shoulders off,
That's
get that
right.
dirt off your shoulders,
That's right.
and move forward. And you got this. Find a good support system. Listen to this show to get
Yes.
all the payroll advice you need from a payroll side of it, and from the paycheck side of it. You can get that too. We're full circle over here, so come and
Yep.
get it.
No doubt. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Until the next time, folks, be well. We'll see
Be
you
well.
soon. We love you.
See you. Peace.
Peace.
Thank you for tuning in to It's About Payroll. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and most importantly, keep going.